This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to brand new edition of Entertainment Hour here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Be sure, before we go through everything, to like, follow, subscribe, and give us the 5-star rating on the network for the Facebook entry there. And then watch all the programs on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network throughout the week. So much going on. Just check us out. There's programs. Just hit the notification bell for everything, and then we'll go from there. So, with me tonight will be Dragon Viper Randy. How are you this evening, Randy?
Oh, I'm really exhausted tonight, but that's usual for me on a Friday night. And that I'm doing okay.
How cold is it where you are?
It's been hitting in the 40s, but it's been like really bad rain, and a couple nights ago a lot of heavy wind gusts and a lot of rain, and but yeah, it's been about 40 something, very low 50s.
Yeah, I just remembered up in the Pacific Northwest, there's a big storm coming through, or maybe it already has. That'll bring what you mentioned. Here, man, it's cold as hell at night. Last night it got down to about 32. I was shocked by that. Right now it's 46. I got a sweater on, which never happens. Sweats and socks. It's like I'm outside. Usually I'm not wearing much, but here we are. I think everyone's thankful I'm not wearing not much. Yeah. So before we get to our topics, we'll get again to like, follow, subscribe on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. Be sure to follow everything and comment on all the shows, of course, like the bottom line mentions. All right, so some news going on. I think some shocking news, but maybe it was time for her. So the Simpsons voice actor Pamela Hayden is leaving after 35 years from the show. She voiced Milhouse, Jimbo Jones, who I forgot who that was on The Simpsons, and then Rod Flanders. So she announced her retirement after 35 years on the series. In a sense, she's done repeating the 4th grade after all these years. She said, quote, "The time has come for me to hang up my microphone, but how do I say goodbye to Simpsons? ? Not easily. I think when you do something so long, Randy, it feels like that." Yeah. She is 70 years of age, and she's been a part of the series since its 1989 debut. But do you know on which show, Randy, it debuted on?
On what network?
Network and show. It wasn't The Simpsons by itself.
No, I didn't. I couldn't even as a kid watch Simpsons. So I watched it as an adult for a little while, but it kind of got boring.
That's what I think.
Yep. And so I didn't really do much research on Simpsons show or anything.
It's weird. Maybe when I grew up, I finally I didn't watch it as much. But it started on the Tracy Ullman show, and she was a comedian from, I think, Great Britain or the UK or somewhere like that. And Fox was looking for programs. And The Simpsons was so good that it ended up being their own program. So it's just funny how it was a part of one show, but it became what it is now. Although it's probably losing its, fastball. But Millhouse, 10 years old, all this time after 35 years. She also mentions, quote, "It's been an honor and joy to have worked with such a funny, witty, and groundbreaking show." Now that was true. Also, she goes on to say, quote, "And to give the voice to Millhouse and Jimbo Jones, Rod Flanders, Janie, and Malibu Stacy, of course, and many others." Her last episode will air November 24th. The Treehouse of Horror presents Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes. And that will send her off, I guess, with a bang. And the first Treehouse of Horror, I didn't know this started in 1990. It's just been going off, all this time. And I believe she'll be killed off. So we'll see what happens. Or her voices will be killed off. It's always weird how that goes. And what's funny to notice, Millhouse, of course, is Bart Simpson's friend. I almost said Bill Simpson.
Yeah.
That's a car dealership guy, I think.
Oh.
But little by little, I think, this happens. I'm so surprised that Nancy Cartwright is still there, and whoever else. So I was just shocked by the news, but eventually, everything will come to an end, just like the show eventually will, you would think, right, Randy?
Yeah, I mean, you would think, it's like what you said, you would think that the show would be coming to an end. They've got to run out of ideas, or I mean, it's almost like South Park. They have these kids, these kids in the same grade for decades, and it's kind of like it's starting to get stale because of the fact that they're not having these kids grow up; they're remaining in the same grade, and so I think it's going to end up losing steam, and it's probably going to end soon. Especially the older that these people who are doing the voices, they're getting older, and they're going to want to retire, like the one now. So, I don't see it lasting much longer.
I would hope not. It's kind of running out, like I said, running out of its juice or whatever. I think King of the Hill got it right. Like, they quit when they needed to. They're going to come back with the reboot with everybody grown up. I'm interested to see about that, especially the Bobby character, because he works, I forget where, but I wanted to see how he got to that point, from age 13 to 23 or 21, whatever it is. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Also, some other news going on. Jelly Roll, I think he's a country singer, pop country singer. Something.
Yeah, Jelly Roll, yeah.
Something I don't listen to, but I should, I guess. Well, he detailed his food addiction battle among his weight loss journey, like something I'm going through, but I'm losing right now. So Jelly Roll revealed that he lost over 100 pounds over the last year. He has a healthier relationship with food, which I should do, of course. The Grammy nominee lost 100 pounds in last year, and he detailed that his health battle was getting worse and he needed to get better with food. He's 39, by the way. He's been in the act for a long time, but wasn't getting the notoriety. He's had other problems as well. But he mentioned with his family that nobody in his house ever had a healthy relationship with food. So that was the hard part, fighting the demon at first and getting into the discipline and the commitment. That's totally true. So Jelly Roll is known as Jason Bradley D. Ford and has 2 kids, daughter Bailey and son Noah. Bailey's 15, Noah's 7. And he emphasized that he changed his internal relationship with how he ate, and the rest of the work became easier. I got to get to that point. He also mentions, quote, "Once you get into that discipline and commitment, it's like an avalanche. Once that little snowball started rolling, it was on his way." So we saw Lizzo have some weight loss as well. She also mentioned that it wasn't all from Ozempic. She actually dieted and exercised. And it's just funny because I just started on Ozempic. So I don't think it's just going to work if I just stick it in my arm. I have to literally do the work like Jelly Roll and Lizzo has done. Anything on that, Randy?
No, I'm happy that he's trying to get this weight loss thing done. I mean, he's a really big guy, so I hope it works out for him, and it's not healthy to be that big. And I mean, I'm well aware. I was almost 300 pounds and ended up diabetic. So, so he's way more than that, but definitely not a healthy thing. And I hope that he ends up losing his weight so that he can get healthier and he gets to the weight mark that he's hoping for. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of hard work for him to do that.
And funny how that comes up. I'm going to the gym tomorrow to start off, so I've got to start my part with all of that. So we'll mention Denzel Washington later, but he's also in the news. He shared that he's been nearly sober for 10 years, and I didn't even know about it, of course, because he mentioned it. But he candidly discussed his past pattern of drinking wine and revealed why he had to stop ahead of his 70th birthday milestone. He'll turn 70 in December, by the way. He's going, like Chrissy Bacon mentioned, he's going into his last act, his last, 5 films, I think it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what it was. But he says, quote, "I've done a lot of damage to the body. We'll see. I've been clean, but be 10 years this December. I stopped at 60, and I haven't had a thimble's worth since." That's a fancy word right there, thimble. He also says, quote, "Things are opening up for me now, like being 70. It's real, and it's okay. This is the last chapter. If I get another 30, what do I want to do? My mother made it to 97. He also mentioned when he was drinking the wine, he paused while filming, then pick it back up after the shoot wrapped up. He said, quote, "I never drank while I was working or preparing. I would clean up, go back to work so I could do both. However, many months of shooting, bang, it's time to go. Then boom, 3 months of wine, then time to go back to work." He continued saying, quote, but drinking was a 15-year pattern, and it didn't start in 1999. So think about that. He was doing it for, almost 25 years, I would think, or a little bit more. Throughout all the great, movies he's done, he's been with the bottle and without the bottle. He says, "Wine is very tricky. It's very slow. It ain't like boom all of a sudden." And part of it was we were building this big house in 1999, his family, with a 10,000 bottle wine cellar, and I learned to drink the best. So I'm gonna drink my 61s and my 82s and whatever we had. I'm guessing that's wines. But any comment on Denzel being 10 years sober and nobody knowing about it?
Yeah, you're right. Especially the not knowing, because I had no idea. I know a lot of things, around Hollywood and stuff like that, but I didn't even know he was, trying to keep sober and had a problem 10 years ago. So that's definitely news for me. And good for him. I mean, I know a lot of people, it's hard to be sober or get sober and stay sober. I know a couple people like that now, and they end up falling anyways, and they fall off the wagon and then they get back on it. So good for him.
Yeah, it's just some probably you never share, but once you get to a milestone age, like, okay, enough is enough. I have to do things without a certain something. Okay, I feel bad making fun of this man's voice last week. I'll try not to do it right now. But Jay Leno suffered a broken wrist, I believe, last week, and an eye injury after falling 60 feet down a hill. You just wonder what the hell was he doing? Remember, he had a
60 feet.
yeah, he had was it a car accident? No, he had a something where he burned the side of his face, and I can't remember what it was.
His car was on fire, and
That's
he
what it
just
was.
happened to be in it.
Yeah, thank you. That's what it was. And he was around cars. He loved cars. He still does. So, man, you thought after that he wouldn't be doing anything, rash or anything. But this time, the way he got hurt, he fell off a side of a hill before a show in Pittsburgh. They do have hills in Pittsburgh on one side of the river, or one of the three rivers, but I think the Allegheny. But I guess he was over there just walking. But he left the comedian with a bruised face, swollen eye, and a broken wrist. So add that on to the other things. So Jay Leno was on the mend. So the tour had to stop, and all he did was tour before he had the Tonight Show, and then he would come in and take over for Johnny Carson. But he had the multiple injuries while falling down the steep side of a hill while on his way to dinner before the recent performance. He says, quote, "I'm a little beat up, fell 60 feet, boom, 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 boom." Just imagine that. He's 74 years old, and then he added that he broke his wrist and, quote, "lost my nail on the finger." So just try to take off your nail if you can out there, folks. And also he mentions, I'm all black and blue from the 60 feet of hitting rocks, noticing that one of the rocks hit me in the eye. And that's why Jay Leno has been wearing an eye patch and left him with the swollen eye. He told the outlet that he checked out his injuries in the restaurant bathroom, but he still made it on stage for his performance. And then he would be checking with a doctor soon. Now imagine you're one of those people in the audience, and you see Jay all bruised up, the wrist out of place, the eye swollen. What was the other thing? He lost a nail on the finger if you're looking that close. But the bruised face and the swollen eye and the broken wrist. Imagine going to the show and you see that on Jay and you're like, what the hell happened? Did he get into a fight? What's going on? But it's been really unfortunate. Oh, yeah. So it's been 2 years, by the way, since he had that burn accident and the motorcycle crash. I had to look that up right there. He's been married to Mavis Leno since 1980. I've always wondered that. And this is far from the scariest accident he's experienced in recent years. I think it goes back to the burn accident, like you mentioned. But any words on the Jay Leno fall from 60 feet?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, and you were talking about if he was on stage and people saw him. I'm sure he said something. So, anyway, yeah, I'm glad that's the only damage he got, especially going that far down. And I mean, when you're in your 70s, your bones are weaker and everything else. I swear he needs to be put in bubble wrap, really. Have some sort of bubble or be in some sort of bubble or something. But yeah, I'm just glad that nothing major happened with him when he did that, because originally 60 feet down is pretty far. So
just like that old Jim Blossom's song lyric goes, "I'll follow you down, but not that far." Oh boy. So yeah, hopefully Jay can come back from that. And you see though how dedicated he is. Most people, I gotta go to the hospital. Look at my face, look at my body, look at my wrist and all that. No, he stayed with the damn show. It's crazy to think about. All right, so let's check out the new movies. There's two that I think came out yesterday, I want to say, or today I should say, but it's
I have no idea.
Wicked. It has Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. It is based on the old what do you call it? Old theater show. It's based on that, and it's 2 hours and 40 minutes if you have that much time for that.
If I remember what you're talking about, I think it's about a different version of Cinderella.
I have here. It's a different version of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah. You're right, Wizard of Oz. I was thinking of something else. Yeah, it's a different version of Wizard of Oz. So
it looks crazy, but Cynthia Erivo is Elphaba. Let's just say a young woman misunderstood because of her unusual green skin. I think the Grinch had green skin, right? He who has yet to discover her true power. Ariana Grande as Galinda. What's up with these names? Anyway, she's a popular young woman, guided by privilege and ambition, who has yet to discover her true heart. These two meet as students at the Shiznit University in the fantastical land of Oz and forge an unlikely but profound friendship. Not a relationship, but friendship.
I have a question for you, James. Have you seen The Wizard of Oz?
A long time ago. I hardly remember it.
Because you were mentioning about names, and I'm like, well, Galinda, she was the good witch on Wizard of Oz. So
okay. There you go.
So yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that Galinda was on the original Wizard of Oz. Galinda was the good witch.
See, that's why you're good in the trivia and on our show here. But basically, they have an unprofound friendship, and then they have an encounter with the wonderful Wizard of Oz. The friendship reaches a crossroad, and their lives take very different paths. It sounds like just two, sisters or two girlfriends that you can have that nowadays. Where you go through adventures, you move away, you come back, or you meet up again. That's what it seems like. Jeff Goldblum is a wizard, by the way, in this. So maybe you'll. Oh yeah, I've seen that in the previews. And then after 23 years, there is a sequel to Gladiator 2. From the legendary director Ridley Scott. Gladiator 2 continues the epic saga of power, intrigue, and vengeance, set in ancient Rome. Years after witnessing the death of the revered hero Maximus at the hand of his uncle, Lucius, who is played by Paul Mescal, is forced to enter the Colosseum, not the one in LA, but the one in Rome, after his home is conquered by the tyrannical emperors who now lead Rome with the iron fist. With rage in his heart and the future of the empire at stake, Lucius
don't teach opera. That's all I'm saying.
Lucius must look to the past and find strength and honor to return the glory of Rome to its people. Sure. Denzel Washington, who we mentioned before, is Macranius. I guess he's the ruler of the Colosseum, and he's the Don King of everything. He probably starts up all the fights and whatever. After that, I can't tell you who anybody else is. But would you be interested in watching these two new movies?
I don't know. I mean, this is the problem I'm having with, and I've always had with sequels, or I mean, it is the fact that they wait so long,
23 years,
to do sequels, and I mean, there's no way you can actually, for one, on the Wicked movie, there's no way you can actually redo a classic movie like The Wizard of Oz years later and it be any good. And then the other movie, the number two, yeah, I don't know, unless they had kids. The kids are all grown now. I mean, just look at National Lampoon's Vacation. You had so many people or so many years in between movies.
Oh yeah.
And that was acceptable because of the fact that the new Vacation movie a few years ago had the kids all grown up, and they still had the original, a few of the original characters from the original movies like that. So I don't think I'm gonna see them, honestly.
I was trying to remember. So Vegas Vacation was the last one.
Yes.
With Chevy, and that was what, 95? And then the Vacation movie I saw with the ex, and I liked it. It was really good too. And it was like 2014. No, sorry, 2016, I want to say. So it was like 21 years in between those. And was it Jennifer Aniston was the daughter, or was the mom, I guess, in that one, and Jason Sudeikis was the son or the dad, basically. I think that's what it was.
In which movie?
The newest Vacation in 2016.
No, I know the daughter, or it was the daughter-in-law. She was Christina Applegate.
Thank you. Shoot, that's right.
I don't remember who the son was, but
Jason Sudeikis.
I know the daughter was Christina Applegate.
That's right, because I like her, and I know she's going through a lot too. So it's just she was going through a disease right now as well.
Yeah.
All right, so we don't have reels. We don't have any picks or anything to go off of. So we're going to skim ahead to my favorite part, and there's no Chris here to copy off my homework or off my test. But we're going to go to celebrity birthdays, and then also we're going to give a shout out to
my mother.
Yep, she says, hi, everybody. Hi, how are you? And yeah, I'm interested to see what birthdays come up because I don't have a clue this week.
All right. So starting off, we have Scarlett Johansson.
40.
How do you know?
I heard that today, and I was like, she don't look like it. And you know what's crazy? She and then maybe you know who this is, but Sarah Jocelyn.
She's my girlfriend.
Oh, hey, Sarah. I was like, that was random. I was like, never seen that name, but happy you're here tuning in. But she's married to Colin Jost, the SNL cast member who does Weekend Update.
Yep.
And I was just thinking to myself, how the hell did he pull her? That's just
I don't know.
A nerd's dream right there, basically. Anyway, another one bites the dust.
So, anyway, and then moving on, and Sarah says he's hilarious.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's how. I don't even know who it is, so I really can't say much. Yeah.
I hope he writes his own material on Weekend Update. I really do. I think that would be cool if they did.
And moving on, I feel like anyway. Then we have Jamie Lee Curtis.
Wow,
You are obsessed with her, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't like the short hair now, and the color of it too is a turn off. But I'm sorry.
But anyway,
Let me get damn. And we were just talking about her during Halloween,
yep.
the Halloween movie too, and they said how old she was. So she was 20 in 1978. So doing the math, she's probably 66.
Yeah. 2 for 2 there, James. 66 years old.
I did the math.
And then
Hell yeah.
we have Mark Ruffalo. He was in Shutter Island, 13 going on 30. If you've seen that,
Mm-mm.
no. Well,
Probably. Ooh. He's kind of like got a goatee, right, or a beard or something.
yeah, something like
Who
that.
that is. I'm gonna say 54.
Oh, you're close. 57. And then we have Richard Kind. He was on Gotham, Mad About You. He was in The Bug's Life as the younger brother of Hopper.
Hopper. I hear his voice too in A Bug's Life. I do. 61.
Nope. 68.
Ah.
Now I had to put this guy down because he's a legend. And he did pass away in 2004, but I did have to say him because, like I said, he's a legend. Rodney Dangerfield.
I forgot when he passed away. I forgot.
Yeah, passed away in 2004.
He would be. Oh God. He would have been 87.
No, way off. At least he got respect from you, trying to be younger.
97.
103.
Oh, what the hell? I'm way off. Because I'm thinking about it, like, he didn't really get notoriety until, like, the late 60s. When he would start going on Johnny Carson. And then he would do the whole stand-up. And he started doing movies and whatever else.
Well,
I love him.
He got respect from you for trying to make him younger, and my mom tried making him older.
There it was. I'll never forget him. That's for sure. And look who pops up right when we're doing this. Of course.
Oh,
Chris B.
Hey, I'm here.
All
Chris,
right.
can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah,
Cool,
so
man.
we're doing birthdays if you didn't hear. and James actually got 2 correct so far.
Oh, okay.
I was shocked by the second one.
So, all right. And then you football nuts out there
I can't.
know who this guy is. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
the TikTok idiot.
Yeah, wide receiver for the Chiefs.
Ew. He went to USC as well.
Former
I think
receiver.
he's 29.
I'm going to say 31.
Actually, James was closer. He's actually 28.
Or 28. He acts like he's 14 sometimes.
Well,
Especially in
yeah.
2020, he did.
And
Well, it's
then
probably because of the CTE.
No, not yet.
And then
Not yet.
here's a trick one for you. Hunter Johansson, who is Scarlett's twin brother.
Twin brother.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's twin brother.
What the hell?
I thought you were going to say
How did you not know she was?
41.
42.
I'm with Gene right here. I'm like
Okay,
All right.
okay. You missed what I said. Twin brother.
twin brother. Yeah.
Oh, if Scarlett is
40. Up, dumbass. 40. Oh my god.
I had a feeling that you guys would fall for that. That's why I wrote it down. But yes,
Oh my god.
she has a twin brother, and he is also 40.
I wonder if they look the same.
But anyway,
My hair is blonde.
no, that's my hair. But
Oh,
and then we had Chris knows this guy because he's former
Who?
WWE.
what?
No.
Elias. I
Wait,
know
what?
I will not walk with Elias.
Elias.
41.
37.
James got it.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that crap.
His thing was, like a mini concert,
Well, yeah, but
kind of.
I think he sucked at singing. But yeah, 37 years old, Elias Sampson. So, and that's pretty much what I have for today. I have some for tomorrow. Everybody knows who this person is, and if they don't, they've been living under a rock. Miley Cyrus.
Oh God, she was just in the news. She said something about her ex, but I didn't read it. I didn't read the article. Probably the most recent one or the one she was with a long time, but it would have said her age in it, so I would have known. But I didn't click it. So so let me put this together. When I was out of high school, she started the Hannah Montana, and she had to be like 14, 13.
You know too much. I'm just playing.
Yeah, I do. And then that rapper said, in about 3 years, holler at me, Miley Cyrus. And that song came out in 2008. So she was 18 in 2011. So do the math. 33.
30,
I'm wrong.
32.
Chris got it with 32.
Oh, I was one off doing the math. Oh.
And then I don't know if you guys have seen Charmed or any of the Mummy movies.
My ex.
Mummy, a little bit.
But Oded Fair, he played Ardith Bay in the Mummy movies, and in Charmed he played Zanku.
42.
44.
Nope, not even close. 54. So, and then we have, and I don't know if you guys watch Jersey Shore, but we have Snooki, Nicole Palazzi, whatever.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that
Another
name in years.
WWE star. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Yeah, she was
in
in
WWE
WWE a
for a
few
second.
times.
She was?
Yes,
Yeah.
God. She
as
must,
a
smell
guest.
like,
She was a guest on there.
she must have smelled like pasta after.
Anyway,
Oh. Smelled like Olive Garden.
I had that for dinner earlier.
Oh my God. The stars are all aligning except hers because we haven't heard from her in a long time. No, actually, there's a Jersey Shore reunion, I think, going.
yeah,
Party.
yeah.
It's been going on for a while.
The party never stops because they want them checks. They're doing nothing else. I want to say she's 30. 39.
33.
Mom is closer. She's actually turning 37. So
I'm just
they were young when they did that show.
Yeah.
And here's the funny part. Okay, so they're doing their Jersey Shore reunion, and I ended up going to Arizona in March. Well, while I was down there, we went to this one Wild West show thing that they have down there, and in Old Tucson, and they were about to start the show, and then they're like, yeah, and Snooki from Jersey Shore got banned from here. And so I'm trying to figure out, watching the show, what she did to get her banned from that Wild West show. But
I have an answer.
Be appropriate.
I have an answer. She probably got drunk, started yelling at everybody, be like, why aren't I on stage? You should know who I am. And
So,
she just started showing her,
yeah.
inappropriately showing her whatnots. And
So anyway,
Yeah.
I just had to throw that story out there because I couldn't believe that she was there and they got banned from there. So, and then we have John Travolta's son, Benjamin Travolta.
Hopefully he's not as annoying as John was. 40.
41.
Okay, you guys are way off. Benjamin Travolta is going to be 14 years old.
Damn.
Oh.
It worked?
We're sorry.
It worked for him? Oh, wow. I still have hope then. Here we go.
Then we have comedian Bruce Valanche. He was on Hollywood Squares for 4 years.
Oh yeah, Lenny Bruce is not afraid. Oh God, he's got to be at least 61 now. Chris is Googling it.
What'd you say? No, I'm really not. What'd you say? What's your guess?
61.
What was your guess?
61.
60.
No, both of you are way off.
70.
76.
Damn. I used to watch that all the time too. The Hollywood Squares. Oh yeah.
And yeah, I used to watch it too with my mom. So
hell
and he would always be on there. And then finally tomorrow we have John Schnatter, who is the founder of Papa John's.
John Schneider.
Huh?
I said,
He was in the news lately talking about like how the dough has changed since he left the company or whatever.
Yeah.
Just interesting to note. Better pizza, better something. 54.
So yeah.
50, I'll say 54.
Nope. 63.
Damn. He got drunk one time and said some crazy things from what I remember.
But that's all the birthdays I have.
And that was a good ass list because a lot of them I hope I knew, but some of them I didn't remember. Wow. All right.
And I got you guys with a trick question on top of it. It was fun.
I don't know why I was over my head and overthinking that. What the hell was I doing? I didn't even know he had a twin or she had a twin. When I think twin, I think the same sex. I don't know.
Those
like
are Siamese or identical twins.
Twins. Okay, that's the only twins I know. Other from Minnesota. Yep. All right, so now we'll go with our 10 or less segment. Our favorite news anchors, and this one, for some reason, it came up to me because I was watching Anchorman, and of course, Will Ferrell is Ron Burgundy, and you have the other three there, and then you have Christina Applegate as what's her name. So I thought to myself, we all live in certain areas where we get local TV, so we know our anchors if we watch the news when we did. So maybe have a fond, soft memory of someone you knew growing up watching. So here's my list. Nationally, it was Peter Jennings. He was also always the one with a soft, calm voice. Will guide you through whatever's going on nationally, like 9/11, the war on terror, whatever, the war in Kosovo in '98. There's all these things Peter Jennings covered that I remember in the '90s and 2000s. He was always there in that 6 o'clock hour. The same thing for Tom Brokaw, but he was on NBC. Jennings was on ABC, but Tom Brokaw was really cool. Always professional, always quick to it. And then the rest of them are just like local people I grew up with. So Mark Brown, ABC LA, he was there all the time. Paul Moyer was 7 and Channel 4 NBC up there. Also in LA. All right, Fred Rogan was a sports guy, so me being a sports guy, that was always good to me. And then his weatherman, Fritz Coleman, he was a stand-up comedian, but he did weather on the side. So he was very funny with his jokes and doing the weather. It was so great to have. And I also got to mention Jim Hill as a sports caster, San Diego, LA. You've seen him on Rocky. He's the black dude. Also another guy on there, Stu Nahan. And then locally here in San Diego, there's Ted Leitner. He was always opinionated. I got here before he was on the CBS locally doing the sports report, but I see some clips on YouTube, so it was great. Susan Taylor is also someone I remember doing the news when I would get home from school back in the day. Larry Himmel, if you watch any of his things, he would go out in San Diego and explore. So he would have these interesting stories, interesting skits from the Midwest. He was always a comedian. So I really liked him. He reminded me of Heel Hauser a bit, being just a personality that everybody loved, and I miss him. And then probably the weather woman I really liked here was Dagmar Midcap. She was an animal enthusiast, so she really, really enjoyed animals and then doing the weather too. And she's from Canada too, and so I always thought the Canadian women were always very, very good looking. Gene mentions Melissa.
She's probably talking about my cousin over something that I said a little bit ago.
All right. Kristen Bacon, I don't know if you have your list.
Yeah. I have a little list here. Lester Holt, he was on NBC Nightly News.
Yeah.
Brian Williams, also on NBC.
That's the other guy.
I think probably famous for a lot of people with the, I guess those viral videos where they chopped some of what of his, some things he said and they made it into like a music video almost.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if this is a news guy. He's more, I guess, entertainment wise, but Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, no, he's a news guy. Yeah.
He also did the show The Mole.
I didn't know that.
Let's see. Dan Rather. He was part of the CBS Evening News.
Yes, CBS.
Tom Brokaw.
Mm-hmm.
David Brinkley.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of fitting for today event here in Dallas, Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, he was the course who Callan always mentions when the JFK thing went down.
And that event was today.
Oh my God! It is November 22nd.
Yep.
Jeez, God, we're connecting all the way around here. There's a sports reporter for Dallas. I forget, but he's been there forever, and he does the hard hitting stuff.
Or which brand?
I forget what channel it is, but the one who is it Channel 4?
Oh, that's Fox. Mike Ducey.
Yeah, I don't know the name, but he's a gray-haired dude now.
Mm-hmm.
But he would always go in depth with his coverage.
I think there's another guy. He retired.
Been there since the 80s. Yeah, he probably retired. But I remember that guy from Dallas.
Yeah, he did. I'll find him and I'll show you. Maybe you'll.
Hi, Randy.
Yeah, I really don't have a list of favorite news people. If I paid attention to news, I paid attention to the actual news itself and not the anchors themselves. So I don't really have a list at all because I didn't really pay attention of who did it, just what the news was.
I'm surprised we didn't. No one had. Oh, let me think. Jerry Springer.
Well, I never saw him when he did News in Cincinnati.
Neither did I.
I didn't see
Like I
Walter
said,
Cronkite.
Brian Gumbel on CBS Morning, Good Morning America or wherever. But
Yeah,
no,
I watched him a little bit.
with me, it was just more about the news and not who the
Yeah.
anchor was.
Matt Lauer.
Kurt Loder on MTV, but anyway.
Oh my! Oh, that would have been one. Yeah.
So
He
you
was
do have
there
a favorite.
forever.
I'm just playing.
Okay,
He was
yeah,
there
I have a favorite of one,
forever.
Kurt Loder, because I liked MTV.
Hell yeah, he was there forever. And then the other guy was there too. I forget that dude's name. The other guy, I forget, but those two were always there forever.
Do we count? Oh, I forgot who he was for a second, but the guy from The Voice, the host.
Howard Stern?
No, he was a
I wouldn't
judge for
count.
many years.
Yeah, I wouldn't count him. That'd
He
be
was on MTV for a while.
Howie Mandel.
No,
I don't know.
never
Let's
mind.
just say yes on that. So our 10 favorite movies of Bill Murray, and I brought him up because I saw him in a golf tournament, like a celebrity golf tournament called The Match on TNT. I just happened to come home and see that, and Bill Murray was playing really good golf, just getting it close to the hole or whatever it's called. So I don't have 10 because there's certain movies I haven't seen of his, but these I have seen. So of course we saw him in Space Jam playing golf with the other NBA players, and somehow he gets trapped in the hole and he ends up on Toon Planet or whatever it was called.
For
Space Jam.
Right. Planet something. I forgot what the planet was, but another golf theme. He was in Caddyshack, of course. He has that scene where he's dressed up in the hat and he's trying to hit among the flowers and he keeps hitting the flowers instead of the golf ball. He's the crazy course manager, I think you would call that title. And then in Zombieland, I remember seeing him in that. Of course, remember him from Groundhog Day, getting up the same damn day, and the same song would come on the alarm clock. And that was just a funny movie to me. He was in Tootsie, and I love that movie, and I can't remember him when he was in it, but he's in it. And I've seen it so many times, too. And then in Meatballs, he was a camp counselor that was just so laid back in the summer camp. And it was like late 70s or something when he was on SNL. He would do this. So it's a very funny movie that my mom would always watch, and they would have a quote saying, "It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter." So I always remember that when I think of that movie and I think of my mom there. So, Randy, what's your list for Bill Murray movies?
Well, I have all the Ghostbusters movies that he's been in. So, except the newest one, haven't seen that one yet, the Frozen one. Then we have Groundhog Day, Zombieland, Dumb and Dumber 2, The Man Who Knew Too Little, and I yelled it a few minutes ago, but Space Jam.
Right.
Kingpin, Scrooged, Caddyshack, and my number one favorite, besides the Ghostbusters movie, my number one favorite, What About Bob?
I've never seen. I gotta watch those one day. I gotta add all those movies I haven't seen. There's probably like 830 of them that I haven't seen. Including over there's Silver Linings Playbook. I've been meaning to watch that. The DVD's like right over there. I still haven't watched it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris, what about you?
Yeah, so my list of Bill Murray movies, of course, Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters. You could pick any of them or the whole series. I haven't watched his last one either. I'm sure you can put that one in there. Lost in Translation.
Oh yeah.
Caddyshack. Let's see. Scrooged. Stripes. What About Bob? And Zoolander. That's my list.
Or Zombieland.
Or
No, he's in
Zombieland, yeah.
Zoolander. Oh, okay. I was gonna
Or
say
maybe it was Zombieland. My bad.
that would be cool if he was in Zoolander. I love that movie.
I don't.
It's so good. It's so stupid, but it's so funny. Sorry,
There's just some movies that are really stupid that are really good.
All the Rockwell and Kevin Hart ones together are. Just saying that right now. All right, so our actress tonight is Meg Ryan. So the first one that I actually saw at like 5 a.m. today because I was up way early before my alarm. I had like a Charlie horse or something in my calf, and like I couldn't go back to sleep. Anyway, it was one of her first films. It's called Armed and Dangerous. John Candy and Eugene Levy are security guards, and Meg Ryan is is one of the other security guards, and what is it? I think Eugene likes her, and anyway, they go on a crazy adventure trying to stop a big drug ring going on. But you see her, and she looks, you know her, but it's funny to see her in her first film there. She was in Top Gun. I've seen that one. When Harry Met Sally, I won't do it here, but you know the scene of that one. The Doors, Sleepless in Seattle, Courage Under Fire, City of Angels. That was the one where Nicolas Cage, man, he was simping over Meg Ryan like the whole damn movie. Just, I will do anything to get her back. You know, the whole scene that Nicolas does in all the movies. Just, You've Got Mail, that of course blossomed into, you know, AOL status there. And then I remember seeing this movie in the theaters, but she was a voice actor in that cartoon movie Anastasia. And I remember loving that movie when it came out. I got to go back and see it again sometime. But I didn't even know Meg Ryan was in it until today. She was probably the voice of Anastasia. Dragon Viper, what about you?
Let's see. I have Sleepless in Seattle. She was on The Doors, the movie for Jim
Morrison.
Wow. Jim what?
Morrison.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how I blanked out because that's a good band. Mm-hmm. But anyway, The Doors, When Harry Met Sally, Top Gun, City of Angels, and You've Got Mail.
All right, Chris.
Who was the actress? I was trying to find.
Meg Ryan.
Oh, okay. I don't have it listed at the moment. Go ahead.
How young is she? I forgot. But she was like really big in the 90s with some of the movies that we mentioned. All right. So this will be the last thing. We're near that hour mark. Our favorite music singer or band, and this time I don't know if we've done this before, but I put Elvis because I've been listening a lot to Sirius XM, and I forgot they had an Elvis channel, so I've been on that for the last 3 days. Not all the time, but
I was gonna say, wait, what?
Eventfully, I went through a lot of the songs. Excuse me. So my favorite one is Suspicious Minds. We can go on together. Can't Help Falling in Love with You. If I Could Dream. Viva Las Vegas. Burning Love. Trouble. I'll have a blue Christmas. Hurry, man.
Oh, man, you sound like a sheep. Oh.
Man. I'm dead, man. Viva Las Vegas, a little less conversation, a little more action. And his version, if you ever saw it, it'll bring tears to your eyes. If you know the story about Elvis doing that last concert, I forget where. I want to say New Orleans at the Superdome, but don't quote me on it. It was in like 76 or something like that. His version of Unchained Melody, you could tell he's going through all the health stuff. He's, blown up. He's sweating. He's got the guy holding the microphone and he's playing the piano. And that version of Unchained Melody, nothing could be like the Waitress Brothers and Hall & Oates, but that's right up there, the Elvis version of it. So, Chris, how about you? Are you an Elvis fan?
I am, and before I get to that, Elvis's last performance was at Market Street Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, on June 26, 1977.
At least it was an arena.
Elvis' final song was "Are You Lonesome Tonight?"
Mm-hmm.
So, as for the list, I have Viva Las Vegas, Return to Sender, Blue Suede Shoes, All Shook Up, Can't Help Falling in Love, Jailhouse Rock, and Hound Dog.
Oh wow, those are two at the end I should have put in, but I have enough room. I saw the Elvis movie in 2022. I thought it was greatly done by Tom Hanks and them. The guy who played him was awesome. It was just tremendous. I learned so much about Elvis. Dragon Viper, you have a list?
Yeah, I do. So and it's one of those incidents where I don't really care for the singer. I just like the song, so I'm just putting it out there. But so I have Can't Help Falling in Love with You, Jailhouse Rock, Suspicious Minds, even though I think, Dwight Yoakam did it a little better, but Don't Be Cruel, Always on My Mind, Are You Lonesome Tonight, Heartbreak Hotel, and The Rock makes a good, parody of that song.
Really?
And so before I say this one, I was in 7th grade, and I think this is kind of funny, but I was in 7th grade, and I was in choir, and they had us choose because they wanted us to do either a single or duet, do like one verse of a song, and they would give us a list of songs, and we could either do a single or duet. Well, I didn't want to sing alone because I think my voice is terrible when I sing, so I didn't want to fall alone on my grade, so I chose this one guy to sing the song with. Well, we got to where we had to sing it, and the teacher went and she's like, I think you guys did okay, but I think you guys are going to get like a B- or C+. I was like, okay, whatever. And then she looked at me and she's like, why don't you sing it by yourself? And I was like, what? So she wanted me to sing Love Me Tender by myself, the first verse and the chorus of it. And I was like, okay. So I did it, and I ended up getting an A.
Holy hell.
I don't understand because I have a terrible voice, let alone a terrible singing voice.
I think she just wanted to see if you do it.
Well, I did it and ended up with an A. So, and then I have also Hound Dog and All Shook Up. And of course, my mom says, I loved Elvis. Well, of course you did.
Yeah, my stepmom loved Elvis, thinks that he's still alive somewhere, all that, just like people love Tupac and think that he's alive somewhere, but
There's people
I don't
that think
believe in
Michael
those
Jackson's
things.
still alive too.
I don't believe in that. But it'd be something if they came out of nowhere, those three.
Yeah.
That would be something. All right, we'll get to our final thoughts. We're over that hour mark. Crispy Bacon, how about you?
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Got in a little late, but hey, I'm here. Great show, and morning tailgate should be fun.
Yep. The games kind of suck. Not the night game.
But there's no shortage of news.
And there's no international game to worry about. Just
next year, that could be a problem for most.
8 of them. Sheesh. Ugh. Hi, Brandon. What about you? Hi, bye.
Oh, jeez. No, thank you everybody for watching. I want to thank my mom and my girlfriend both for commenting on here, and I just hope everybody has a good night, good weekend.
Same thing. Thank you very much for watching. I gotta work on that. Hey, bye.
No.
You know what's funny? Before I leave, I watched a bunch of the Elvis movies, and they all seemed the same, but in different areas.
Yeah.
Different cities. Like they had the Hawaii one, they had the Vegas one.
I'd like to hear the Hawaiian one.
What was that movie called? Damn, I gotta watch it. But
man, I'm just kidding.
All right, bye. I gotta go watch that. Anyway, thank you for watching Entertainment Hour. We'll be back next week, and we'll see you next time. Bye, folks.